Hello and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today we have a Mail Day special. So Master Rule 2020 was announced, and that means that we can put all kinds of fusion, Xyz and synchro monsters onto the field wherever we want, and that's kind of crazy. Now, there were a series of decks that I really liked the concept of, but never really picked up in a competitive sense when we were in the state of Master Rule 3. Now, as we head towards a sort of Master Rule 5 or Master Rule Update 2020, there was one deck in particular that I wanted to pick up. So hopefully I'm going to be able to share with you the experience of collecting all these cards, building the deck, and then trying it out. So to start off, I went on to eBay and various other resources and traded and bought my way into this pile of stuff that we have here, which we will be opening very shortly. So this particular deck has definitely been a fan favorite. It's one that people have been asking me to do some profiles of for quite a while, and I've never really got the opportunity. So just getting used to the setup. I've never actually tried to have all these cameras in this place, and I'm not actually entirely sure what's on the screen of this camera here because I can't see it, but hopefully this will be in shot. So this is a deck that's been a fan favorite. It's been very important for a lot of the TV series and the films, and hopefully we're going to be able to start piecing things together with this Mail Day. Now, I haven't actually finalized my list yet. A lot of the purchases are sort of random. There's just bits and bobs, and there's new stuff which is actually not coming out until the new Legendary Duel set. So that's a little bit of a hint for you there if you know what's in that set. So let's just see what we have here. Oh, that's nice. We've got a little, don't know if you can see that, we've got a little Christmas tree rubber here. Funky. What is this? Okay. Something in there. Ah, you know what this is? This is a token. It's like a counter I've been using. So they've thrown in this nice little rubber here. But this actually is not part of the deck. So we'll save that one for later and move on to the rest. I know what this is, and it's not very interesting, so we'll get to that in a bit. Let's start off with this one. This is a pretty hefty package, so hopefully this one's got something a bit more exciting in it. We've got Pokemon sets, some merchandise and stuff. Get rid of that. So this package is from Unicorn Cards. They've included this nice little advertising card here. So it's a UK based store. They're pretty good. I've used them quite a lot in recent years, and they've always delivered very quickly, and they do pretty reasonable prices, which is quite nice. And they've sent us an empty top loader here. Okay, sure. And then we've got this Ho-Oh 2017 Legendary Battle Deck. But of course it's not actually a Legendary Battle Deck. I wonder if, is it open? Have we got some tape? There's some tape on the top here. Let's just tear that off and take a look inside. So you can see the very first extra deck monster for our deck here. It is Axel Synchron. So that's probably a pretty big hint as to the deck we're building. This is actually a pretty phenomenal pack. Look how many cards there are in here. Let me just grab some scissors and we can open this up, because this looks like it's going to be basically the majority of the deck. I know there are a few things that haven't come out yet. So yeah, the Synchron Tuner deck, the idea being to either, I'm not really sure which way I want to go with this yet. You can either try and make the like shooting Quasar Dragon, etc., which is a lot of fun. But the problem with that board is it doesn't win games. So from a competitive standpoint, it's not exactly the best thing. Whereas being able to hand loop your opponent for 5 cards or potentially 6 cards, which you can do now with Needle Fiber and the Synchrons, is maybe a little bit better. So let's just have a look at the cards that we have in this pack. Actually, I can bring this one a little bit closer here, and I can't actually tell what's in focus. As I said, can't see the screen, so hopefully you guys can see this. So we have Axel Synchron. This lets you send stuff to the graveyard. It's a level 5 tuner. It's basically part of your loop in order to build up to a stronger synchro monster before you make like your first Trishula or your Crystal Wing or something. But it also enables some of your combos because you're sending more of your Synchron monsters to the graveyard. And then Flare Synchron, available in common. Thank goodness. So this deck is available in like an absurd rarity. You can just buy everything in like really, really high rarity. And I decided I'd just go for a vaguely cheaper version of the deck because I didn't want to be spending tons of money on something that is essentially going to be a fun project. But if you've got the rarity bumps available out there, I'm more than happy to bring out my trade binder and we can look into upgrading my deck for that. And just see how it goes from there. We've got Junk Synchron. I think I ordered three commons. It is available in secrets. Although it's a bit pricey at the moment. I think it's probably a bit too much for me to consider, really. Jet Synchron here, very important one of. Silver Rocket Dragon. So, important thing to note was when the Synchron deck last existed, I think E-Telly was at 3. So you were using E-Telly to bring out Recover. Now E-Telling is at 1, so that strategy is a little bit more difficult. And instead you can bring out your level 1, I think it's a level 1 tuner, or level 2 tuner for the rockets with the, I always forget the name of it, it's like Quick Summon or something, I can't remember, but a Quick Launch, I think? It is a quick play that summons one of your rockets from deck, basically. So this is the alternative target for when you need to get a level 4 monster out. And there's the Rocket Synchron that we've got, so the level 1 Synchro that you can summon with Quick Launch. I'm going to forget that name like every single time. Cyber Synchron, I don't think this is super relevant, but I wanted to be able to pick one up because I don't think I actually have one yet. TG Hyper Librarian, very important. I think you only need the 2. I can't remember if this actually came off the ban list fully, but you do definitely need the 2 copies because this deck draws like the entirety of the deck when you resolve the full combo. I haven't been able to test it extensively online yet because I really haven't found the time for it, but the potential of this deck is absurd in the Master Rule update. Charge Warrior is another draw card here. Dawn Dragster is just, if you have to make the turn 1 board without going into your banishing stuff, actually this is for the turn 2 board. So basically, if you can't hand loop your opponent because you're going second and they've used all of their hand, you out their board and you either OTK, which you can't always do, or you set up enough negates that they then can't play in the following turn. So that's what Dawn Dragster is about. Tatsunoko, I don't actually know if you need this at the moment, but it was important in previous versions. And then 3 tuning as well, get yourself to your Synchrons. Triple Quick Draw Synchron, one for the Ultras here because it was pretty cheap. It seemed reasonable. And then I picked up loads of copies of Desynchro because I think this card is like absurd. You can like Trishula 4 times because this card exists. And then, like, I just think that some of my friends are definitely going to be interested in having this, so I thought I'd pick up an extra playset just in case. Martial Metal Marcher, I don't think this was out when the Synchron deck existed before, and it certainly has some interesting interactions for the deck too. Hyper Synchron is just a basic Synchron. Power Giant is just a nice summon, so I got 2 of those. I don't know if I'll actually play this at all. It just seemed like a nice card to have. Quandox, I think you need this. Not entirely sure. I picked up 3 Formula Synchrons, and I guess I picked up German ones. Is that German? Formel Synchron, Machine... Okay, so my knowledge of non-English, non-Spanish, non-French languages is pretty abysmal. So if you know what language this is, I'm assuming it's German because there's quite a lot of use of words that join together, and you've got do and you've got kannst, so I'm going to assume it's German, but please forgive me if it's not. Anyway, so 3 Formel Synchron, which I'll be using to Synchro Summon during my opponent's turn and to link up and draw cards and get myself to the like draw, infinite draws with this deck. And then I got a bunch more Desynchros because I thought, why not? You know, I'm going to be picking up a lot of Synchro cards. Let's go through the rest. Okay, so this one's a bit less exciting, but absolutely necessary anytime that you're picking up new cards. If this is actually what I think it is, it might not be. It might be very exciting and I just have no idea. So let's take a look. Yep, so it's some sleeves. So if you've been looking closely at my channel, you'll notice that for my main decks, I always use Ultra Pro Gloss Small black sleeves. For my extra deck, I always use Ultra Pro Small Gloss white sleeves. And the idea is just that I'll be able to differentiate between main deck and extra deck, which is the only differentiation that you ever need to do. And then apart from that, all of my sleeves are essentially interchangeable. Now, obviously, when these are actually cut, they are cut slightly different widths and lengths. So if you're going into a tournament setting, you will need to actually pick up new ones. So it's not quite as good, but I wanted to have some extra sleeves so I could put everything into some nice, safe, protective gear moving forward. And then here we've got this one from, again, Unicorn Cards, second package. I didn't order these all at once. I had basically an idea that I wanted to pick up the deck, and then I bought as much of the deck as I could. And then I was like, oh wait, I forgot all of these other cards that are really important, so I'll just buy some more. Oh, look at this. This is fancy. There's still time to do your holiday shopping in our brand new shop, unicorncards.co.uk. Just so you know, this video is not sponsored by Unicorn Cards, but if you're interested, you should check them out. Alternatively, if you don't want to go via an eBay source, if you go to www.tierzerogames.co.uk, you can use my discount code, which is Yazzie5. You'll get 5% off all of your purchases, and you'll be supporting the channel. So it's really up to you as to what you go for. But this is pretty nice, I'll be honest. It's nice to have this sort of Christmas card. Like, I mean, it's a little bit late, but sure. We've got advertising stuff again. Oh yeah, okay, right. So this is a little pet theory of mine. We've just moved into a format where you can summon like 50 times in a turn or something. Like, the amount of special summoning you can do at the moment is, moving into the April 2020 format, it's going to be absurd. Also, I like to play a lot of full power format, and my favorite full power deck is Dragon Rollers. So there were two amazing reasons for why I wanted to pick up this card. So Vanity's Emptiness. Neither player can special summon monsters from at all, right? Yeah, and if a card is sent from the deck or field to the graveyard, then you destroy this. So that seemed like it was a worthwhile purchase. If it does come off the ban list, I think it's unlikely. But in any case, I wanted to pick this one up while I could. Okay, so moving on to the next item. We got some skinnier packages this time, so fewer cards, but maybe they'll have more of an impact. We'll just see. So this one we have Psyframe Lord Omega. Very important for the hand loop, very important for recycling and resources. I think in the older version of the Synchron deck, or sorry, the not Synchron deck, the it was like Dark Warrior Synchro, you would just turbo out Omega and you just resolve this card as many times as possible. I think that's the only thing in here, yeah. So it is important in this deck. It's slightly less important because you have the desynchro now, so you can basically just make a Trishula, have a bunch of draws, and then desynchro your Trishula, get more draws, and like, just the absurdity of the deck is kind of what drove me towards it. I guess I'm really I'm always tempted to play decks that have a crazy combo. I think in a competitive sense, I generally struggle going second with those kinds of decks, because I just don't know what I'm doing. I never get enough practice to know what I'm doing with those kinds of decks. But it's always tons of fun to play, so that's why I wanted to pick it up. So that's an Omega, going to be in the extra deck, and we're going to see how many times we can summon that one. The deck is very different now, though. You're not trying to just like DDR into your second and third Omegas, etc. You basically just summon, draw, resolve desynchro as many times as possible. What have we got in this one? Some paper. Hey, look. Alright. Guess what card got reprinted? Got announced as a reprint this week, or when I'm recording this, in the new Legendary set. It's Doppel Warrior. But yeah, I mean, I picked it up. It's not super expensive. I was almost tempted to pick up a higher rarity version. I'm not sure if the reprint that we're getting is a high rarity version or not. But I thought I'd just go for the common one because it's a lot cheaper than buying the more expensive versions of it. And that seems fair enough. I'm not sure if I'm going to be running 3 copies of it in this deck, actually. It really depends on how my test hands go and stuff, and whether or not I decide that it's a worthwhile piece to add. I mean, I imagine I'll be playing at least 2, but I really don't have enough experience with the deck to make a judgment on that just yet. And then Synchron Resonator. Now, I think in previous versions of similar decks, you would play more than one of this, but I'm not entirely sure that it's justified at more than one because there's so much draw power now. So I decided I'd just take the one. You have other ways to special summon level 1 monsters and level 1 tuners anyway. A couple of other things I needed to pick up. I've needed to get a Barricade Borg blocker for ages. I never actually got a box of whatever set this is in. Rising Rampage. Yeah, I never got a box of that. As a common, so I really need to pick one up at some point. And then Clearwing Fast Dragon. So I haven't seen this in many like Synchron profiles recently, but it's a brand new monster. I think it's level 7 synchro. Very easy to make, just non-tuner wind monster and a tuner. And I'm presuming there will be a way to make this. I mean, if you have Stardust Charge for you, this is a non-tuner, it's wind and just a level 1 monster. I'm not actually sure if there is a level 1 monster that's not a Geno, but we'll figure things out as we get there. So that seems like it would be a decent option there, and that is that package done. And then the last package for today's mail day. It's actually our first time I've ever done a mail day thing on the channel. I don't tend to do pack openings and stuff. It's normally just analysis and stuff. Last package, what do we got? So, very important. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Obviously you need protection from hand traps. Important thing to compare this deck to like other go hard combo decks is that the other ones you normally make like Azathoth or something first, which is protection from all the hand traps, whereas this one is like, oh, you put one Crystal Wing, you get one negate. It's alright. It doesn't even protect you from like other stuff. So like Imperm is still a problem. Sure, it's a problem in the like Azathoth decks, but there are certain Lunar Light strategies that you can use to get around that. So maybe I'll be doing a video on that in the future at some point. We'll see. We've also got 1-for-1, and we've got Coral Dragon. I don't know if Coral Dragon is in this version of the deck, but I haven't had a Coral Dragon for a few years now. I wanted to pick another one up since we're heading into like a synchro heavy format, potentially, and then be able to use that. And then 2 new cards. Shooting Riser Dragon is very important for the deck. You get to send combo pieces to the graveyard and enable a lot of your combos. And it's a Juno, which is really, really helpful. You can, I think you can summon this with the Needle Fiber. I've got to stop saying Needle Fiber. Apparently it's Halka Fibrax. Excuse me for that. So I think you can summon this from the extra deck as well with that. And then the last card we have is Win the Wind Charmer Verdant. So I'm a huge fan of all of these Charmer attribute link monsters. I think they're really, really good and super underrated. And if we head into any format where Wind is an important deck, which I think we're gradually getting closer and closer to, I wanted to have this just in case it became relevant again. On that topic, keep an eye out because there's a lot of Wind support currently circulating. And I would not be surprised if a new Wind archetype came into existence that totally wrecked the meta. But for now, this is where we are, building a Synchron deck. I'm sure there's loads of stuff I still haven't got and need to pick up. So if there's anything you think I need to get, please let me know in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys have been able to actually see this. I have no idea, and we'll be reviewing that when I actually get to the footage. But I'll be uploading this regardless, so you can hear my weird rambling as I show you potentially blurry images. But yeah, that's the first ever mail day on the Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.